Hello, and welcome to Recently on Reddit, presented by Tiny Black Panther Productions. Each episode, I read several Reddit stories across a number of subreddits. Why? Because they're interesting, heartwarming, funny, eye opening, and sometimes, well, a little cathartic. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Our first post today comes from r/tales from the front desk, posted by Sad Girl BS. Guest upset because ocean has seaweed. I work for a semi-large timeshare group and received a call from a guest last month whining that her Virgin Island vacation was ruined because the ocean smelled and there was too much seaweed in the water. She was furious because her husband had just returned home from leave and this, the ocean, had completely ruined her vacation. She said, I expect the ocean to have a little seaweed, but this is entirely too much. It's completely unenjoyable. Apparently, she has spoken to the on-site manager and they refuse to do anything about it. I suggest that she enjoy the resort's pool, but that didn't satisfy her either. Not really what she expected any of us to do. Skim the entire ocean? Sure, I'll get right on that, ma'am. It's the entitlement for me. Our next post is from r/entitled parents, posted by Scarlet Absol 13. I'm not going to risk my job because you want an obscene amount of cereal. I work at a supermarket, and one of our regular customers is a woman who comes in with her two kids and buys an absolutely obscene amount of cereal whenever it's on sale. Now, when I say an obscene amount, I don't mean 10 to 20 boxes at a time. No, she's not here for math word problem level amounts of cereal. She comes in and buys anywhere from 50 to 300 boxes at a time. Her and her kids usually come to the back room door with 3 shopping carts and ask for 9 to 15 cases of cereal depending on how much we have left in stock. She's gotten denied service a few times, like the time she tried to buy an entire pallet of cereal, 5 boxes per transaction the day before Thanksgiving. Management cut her off after 18 transactions, 90 boxes, because her order was holding up the lines for 3 of our 7 operational registers. 3 of our registers were broken at the time. The stock department manager absolutely despises this and has told the woman on multiple occasions that if she's going to purchase more than 3 cases of cereal, she has to call a few days before she comes in so he can order extra cereal. But she always claims that she won't know what she'll need until she comes in and refuses to do it. This happened to me on a Sunday when I was the only person working in my department. I had just finished emptying the baler when Cereal Lady poked her head into the stock room. Hey, could you get me some cereal? She asked. I scanned our sale pallets and she said, it's on the second level on the scaffolding. The scaffolding she was talking about is the same kind of scaffolding you would see at a wholesale club like Costco, Sam's Club, or BJ's Wholesale. So I told her, unfortunately, no, I can't get that down for you. I'm not authorized to use the equipment needed to get that down. She then asked, is there anyone who can get that down for me? And I responded, unfortunately, I'm the only one on at the moment. The full timer who normally works alongside me on Sundays has the day off. She sighed and asked, could you just do it for me this one time? And I responded with, no, I'm not authorized to use the machine needed to get that down. And she said, seriously? You can't just do it for me this one time? And I told her, no, I can't do it this one time. I'm not allowed to use the machinery, nor do I know how to use it. If I get caught using that equipment, I won't only lose my job, but I could potentially face legal trouble and steep fines should I damage something or injure myself. She huffed and then went, fine, I'll just go get front end manager. He'll do it for me. A few minutes later, the front end manager walked into the storeroom with the woman in tow. Hey, OP, are you authorized to use the power lift? To which I responded, nope. He asked, is full-time coworker here yet? And I replied, he's off today and my brother already left for the day. My brother works in the same department as me and he's authorized to use the power pallet jacks. The front end manager turns to the cereal lady and says, I'm sorry, but that product is unavailable for today. There's no one who can get that down. Cereal lady then shrieked, you're a manager and you can't get that down for me? And front end manager responded with, I wasn't trained on that equipment because this isn't my department, and therefore I'm not allowed to operate it. You're going to have to come back tomorrow if you want it. Cereal lady then stormed back to the cereal aisle without another word. I haven't seen her since that day, and my department manager has since storing the cereal pallets on the same side as the storage room doors so she can't poke her head in and demand 15 cases of cereal without calling a few days in advance. For our next post, we're stepping over to r/malicious compliance, posted by Creepy Analyst. Bank won't let me withdraw all funds. Okay. English is my first language, and I'm typing on a laptop, so I expect you all to judge this post harshly. I moved from Pennsylvania to Michigan a few years ago, and I only go home once a year or so. A few years back, I transferred the vast majority of my bank account to Michigan, but they were giving me a hard time about closing the account, so I withdrew all funds except for $1.31. I haven't touched the account since, so that's 2 years later I get a notice from inactivity stating that I will be charged $5 if my account remains inactive for 2 years. I spoke with 3 different people on the phone, but they would not let me close out the account without incurring a fee. And since I'm never moving back to that town, I refuse to pay them or add any money to the account. Cue malicious compliance. So I have to interact with the account once every 2 years or else pay $5? Fine. Give me 1 cent, please. When I was there in person last month, I withdrew 1 penny from the account, so now it's good for another 2 years. The attendant definitely gave me a weird look, but at this rate, my account will remain open for the next 260 years. Edit. Grammar. Thanks for calling me out. Yeah, I guess if a bank has decided that you will have to pay them in order to close your business with them, make them hold it. And one more from r/malicious compliance, posted by mbright28. I'm sure he can help me if you can't. During the 2008 recession, I had lost my job. One of my friends managed a Blockbuster video and was able to get me working there a few nights a week. He rarely came in at night, and it was managed by a younger employee that we will call Chelsea. Chelsea was 19 and I was 31 at the time. This will be important later. Chelsea did a great job running things when my friend wasn't there and really knew her stuff. She really enjoyed her job and the customers really liked her. One night, I'm checking in returns and I hear a lady getting really frustrated with her. She was wanting her to waive a ton of late fees and credit her for a movie that she said was terrible. We definitely didn't credit people for movies because they didn't like them, and sometimes would credit late fees. She pleaded her case to Chelsea for 15 to 20 minutes, and Chelsea continued to explain that she's had too many credits already. As I'm putting movies back in stock, I hear a tap on my shoulder. It's the same lady, and she insists that I help her. I walk up to the front and stand next to Chelsea. I play dumb and ask what's going on. She points at me and looks at Chelsea dead in the eye and says, He can help me since you won't." I ask her what's going on and make her explain everything again for the next 15 minutes. As soon as she's done, I tell her I would need to talk to my boss before I can get that approved. She asks, "Well, who is your boss then?" I look her dead in the eye and point right at Chelsea. That lady stormed out the door so fast, and we never saw her again. Too long didn't read. Customer assumed I was in charge because I was older. Ended up wasting a bunch of time and still had the same result at the end. Thank you for joining me today for Tiny Black Panther Presents Recently on Reddit. I hope you've enjoyed these posts as much as I have. Please like, comment, and subscribe as I will continue posting more stories like these. Bye bye for now.